lots of folks are heading out to the pumpkin patch this week in search of the perfect jack-o'-lantern. Evette Rios is an online contributor to Better Homes and Gardens magazine, and she's here this morning with tips on how to choose and carve the perfect pumpkin. Evette, good morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, let's choose the perfect pumpkin, because I love to do this with my daughter. I
love it too.
Except after a while, there's nothing worse than that rancid stench of a rotting pumpkin.
Yes.
So how do we pick the pumpkin that's going to last us the longest?
Okay, absolutely. So what you want to look for is you want to look for a stem that's really firmly attached. So when you go to the patch or you go to your store, try picking it up by the stem. If it's not going anywhere, that's a good sign.
Okay.
And then also there's sometimes green around the outside of the stem. That means it's really fresh.
Perfect.
And that'll eventually turn orange. It's perfect. And so those are the ones to get.
All right. And also you say that you shouldn't look for a perfectly shaped pumpkin.
No.
On the contrary, you should look for ones that are kind of funky, right?
Accentuate the positive. You know, you want a pumpkin that's a little unique, that has some interesting features. Like we've got a really lumpy one here, and something like this is great to make a witch's face or something that's gonna, so it looks like uneven skin tone and it looks really creepy.
Like you've done with this one, right? Let's see. Oh, that's great. And then you used
a squash for the nose.
Which I love.
Very easy.
All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. How do you get these perfect shapes?
Okay, so what you want to do is we suggest at bhg.com to cut from the bottom, because it's a little bit safer if you put a candle or a light in there. You can put it on the ground and then put the pumpkin over it, so it's really even.
I usually cut from the top and scoop out.
Yeah,
so I've been doing
but then
it wrong.
no, it's not wrong. It's just if you put a candle at the bottom, it's going to be uneven because the pumpkin is round. So this is a little safer.
Okay.
So we cut the bottom off of that. And then you get an ice cream scoop. Just go right to your kitchen.
I always just use my hands.
Yeah,
this works
really well. So here, let's do yours.
Off this one. All right. And then just
go
scoop out
just scoop
the guts.
Exactly.
This can get so messy.
Oh my gosh, it can be, but it's fun, you know?
It is fun.
And so you can get the kids involved in this part especially, because it's just, it's just with the ice cream scoop, it's easy. If you don't have an ice cream scoop, you can also use the lid of a jar, and that works great too.
Oh, that's a great tip.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I would resort to my hands. But that's okay. There's always the hands.
Yeah, exactly. You could always go with the hands.
We do invest in these pumpkin carving kits. Is that a worthwhile investment?
You know, these are actually, with the small serrated blades, are great because you can do very fine detail work. The problem is they're not really built to last, so every year you end up getting new ones.
Okay.
So I suggest getting them if you're going to do fine detail work and you want to do some really intricate stuff.
Okay, otherwise what do you use?
I use this is actually a drywall saw, and I stole this from my dad's toolbox.
Nice.
But it works great. You can take the bottom off your pumpkin, you can do all your carving because it's got a nice thin blade. And if you don't have this, a small serrated knife is also perfectly fine.
Very good. And what do? Do you trace it first?
Yeah, well, I wanted to show you, we actually have a bunch of stencils at bhg.com that you can pull right off the internet. Like here's one. And you just print these out. You can resize them on your copier just to any size to make sure that it fits your pumpkin. You can either carve these or you can paint them, whatever you'd like.
All right.
But check this out. How about a drill?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Are you comfortable with the
with power tools? Absolutely.
Okay, so
but just tell me what to do.
Another hole right over there.
So just put it right there?
Yeah, just put it right in. Hold on to it with your other hand. And this is a whole bit, and so this is an option if you want to. Isn't that cool?
And that is the coolest looking pumpkin.
It is, and you can use different. You're really getting into it now.
Yeah.
You can use different sizes of bits, so you can have some smaller holes, some larger holes, and this looks absolutely beautiful with the light inside. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
And it's perfect. It is
fast.
Fun. And so
we love the drill.
You see how easy it was to put the candle. We forgot to mention that after you cut out the bottom. All right. So then this will look beautiful, lighted up. But if you don't feel like making the mess, like I live in an apartment and I just don't have a place to carve.
Yes.
You can just color it.
You can paint it. And again, the stencils are all available on bhg.com. There's all sorts, animals and dogs, and you just stick this on, and either you can paint into the stencil, stick it on with tape.
I was wondering what that was. Yeah, the crow needs a head.
The crow is a little headless.
Okay.
We were going to finish it on camera. And then just use a little bit of acrylic paint. These work great. And if you have small children, tempera paint is great because it just washes right off.
Very good.
And you can just have the kids get creative. If they don't want to use a stencil, just go crazy. Create some works of art.
All right, finally, you should not be eating your jack-o'-lantern, right?
Yes, especially not after it's been sitting out for a while.
Do not eat this pumpkin, but you can eat the seeds.
You can, absolutely. And so you take the seeds out, and you want to make sure they're perfectly dry. And then you roast them in the oven for about 10 minutes. I like to put some salt and pepper in it. I also put some curry in this one to make them a little spicy.
That sounds
good.
And then,
yeah, they're not so bad.
So if you did want to make a pumpkin pie, what kind of pumpkin should you be buying?
you should be buying
these are so yummy.
They're good, aren't they?
Fantastic.
Yeah. And you should be buying a small, this is a pumpkin pie pumpkin. This is just a small, young version of the big guys.
And the difference is this is sweeter and
much
grown
sweeter,
for cooking. And
softer, and ready to go. And then
beautiful.
you just go and make your pies.
Sounds great, Evette.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This has been
Evette Rios. We're going to put all this information on our website, which is earlyshow.cbsnews.com.